Good morning, everyone. Today is April 25th, 2019. I came back to Rochester, New York, from Japan. It's a little difficult to believe I came back to Rochester, but yeah, I did. I have to finish. I'm gonna move back to Japan this summer, so I'm gonna start selling my house. So I had to come back, but it's okay. It's spring here finally in Rochester, so some flowers came out right while I'm traveling Korea and Japan for 3 weeks. See, I put it this like during the winter. It was cold, but hey, they came out. See, the important things is right. I think sometimes important things done in early time and nobody really notice, right? If you're doing business or even not just even business or planning events or anything like that, but very simple things like having beautiful flower in your garden, it's kind of the same thing, right? You have to work before it becomes spring, right? I mean, makes sense. And then you have to put the seed or bulbs, like if that's a balls, you have to put it before winter, right? You don't realize, like most of the people don't realize that, right? If that's the seed, you have to put it usually in the very, very early spring, before you don't believe spring is comes, right? I mean, it's interesting. Very simple things, but people don't understand. then they don't know why they don't get beautiful flower in front of your garden, because you don't prepare things, right? So for business, I think like you need to have some kind of sense like that, right? You don't have a lot of business or you don't have a lot of job or money in your bank account. It's because you don't prepare for that, right? You like spring, you like summer, you like falls, right? To get a lot of fruits or a lot of vegetables, right? A lot of flowers, right? But you don't prepare because you have to work on it, right? And it takes times. And but you have to prepare into the future. I think it's very important. It's called groundwork. It's a very good word, right? Groundworks. I mean, sometimes people, right? Like we are living such a spoiled world, right? I don't worry about eating food like today. Somebody in the world works so hard, and make food for you, right? So I don't need to go to farms and so work for you, like they prepare for you, so and they do very, very well, so they have more food than they can eat. So that's why I don't need to work for farms every day to just get my food. So I mean, that's great, it's amazing, that's wonderful, right? I mean, just think about until recently, like when I grew up, like when I was born, people didn't have food, right? Many people didn't have a food. They starved, right? That was really normal things to have, right? People, place like China. I'm 40 years old. 40 years ago, still in China, they had no food, right? Right? Some people starved, right? And some place in like India, same thing. I mean, if you go back to like 50 years ago or 60 years ago, and like before industrial agriculture, like a green deal, green revolution. Sorry, green revolution. It's not green New Deal. That's a bullshit. Anyway, good morning. Green revolution happened, right? It was people didn't have enough food. So, but in the world, it's kind of like a trade-off for many things. You get one things, and you lose one things. So I mean, that's trade-off, right? And the trade-off of this is like we kind of like lost the sense of like a common sense, right? Like how how farming works, right? People did groundwork physically before, so they understood the word of groundwork, and they understood why you have to prepare early, right? You have to work against the seasons, right? And then you have to know, like you have to save some seeds to get more corns or grains or any other vegetables, right? You don't just eat all the your grains. It's kind of common sense, right? It's come from like a real experience. People used to know that, right? With hard way, but like we are so we are all spoiled so much, right? So we cannot just complain about the millenniums. we are spoiled too, so we easily forget such a common word. So the time for Bitcoin SP is I think now it's early spring or maybe winter, and I think it's good. It's okay. I mean, winter is cold, and winter is sad. I personally don't like it because it's cold. I'm a skinny guy. Like if you live in like Rochester, New York, winter is cold. You can die very easily because it's so cold. Like it's become minus 20 Celsius, right? You see one of my video, right, on chain. Like boiling water becomes snow, right? That cold. But it's necessary, right? I mean, because we have a winter, that's why we have a spring, and we have a summer, and then we have fall. Like that's why we have seasons, right? We are living in that cycle. So if you think about the Bitcoin and Bitcoin SP, we are still in the winter, and that's for good reasons. I think it's now is the time we are working on we preparing things, right, for spring or summer or fall. We work for futures. We don't see it yet. It's still cold and nobody wants to go outside. Nobody wants to do groundwork because it's cold. So what's happening is it's kind of like filtering people out, right? In a way, we don't want everybody to do this part because some people are so not that good. They don't think about much, right? So maybe it's good. Maybe it's good you do it, right? Maybe it's good like I do it, right now, like preparing groundwork, working for futures, right? We imagine, it's cold doesn't mean, it's always cold, right? It will be always cold. I mean, cold right now doesn't mean spring won't come, right? So smart people knows that, and smart people work for that time. Oh, I gonna be in the conference. I gotta sleep, so I gonna bring my developer too. But I'm gonna go to the CoinGeek conference in Toronto at the end of May. It's just other side of Lake, so it's very different. But yeah, I am very delighted to go there to meet everybody. So you're gonna come there and notice me, just say hi to me. It's just so always I have a wonderful time with people, meeting with Bitcoin SB people. This time it's like same thing. I have to flew to the Korea to talk about Bitcoin SB, or Japan to go to to meet few people, right? In Japan I met what's his name? Konstantin. Sorry, it's a horrible. I should know his name, but hold on. His name is Konstantinos Sagantos. Yeah, he's a Greece guy. He's a really smart guy, and he was talking about how Bitcoin network can be AI. An AI, I guess, like alternate or like alternate, well, he is talking about like Bitcoin network can be universal computer. It seems like it's going to be sometime soon, but also it can be really nice AI because it has a really nice data set, right? Because see, like well, I think we should make different video about that. But my point is, I have to go all the way down to Japan to meet this guy, right? I mean, and I'm also I'm like, it just seems like one Japanese or two Japanese, in Tokyo know about Bitcoin SB, really deeply, right? So these guys have to come all the way down to the Greece to meet these people, and it's okay. It's still not a lot of people, but very, very smart people working on this thing. So I think it's good to know each other right now. We make networks right now. It's a small world network, I guess. So you're flying around. I'm very looking forward to join that event. Meet and discuss with you. It's so nice to be in spring. It's still like 40 degrees, so Celsius. This Fahrenheit, so it's a little chilly, but it's not like 20 degrees. You saw some of the video, right? You saw some of my YouTube video. I'm walking at winter time outside. It's just crazy. So compared to that, it's beautiful. It's like a arbor, birds, singing, and I see the greens on the grass and on the ground. It's nice. It's just it's how great it is, right? To have just simple greens. Maybe this is also deserve like one separate video, but I was discussing with some people in Twitter who are managing Bitcoin.jp, but like it was like I don't like discussing on Twitter anymore. I used to spend so much time. I like politics, right? So this means like I end up discussing with people about politics or economics and all the time, right? And sometimes Bitcoin too. But I don't like it because usually it doesn't really give me anything. Like it doesn't or create value that much, right? It's not productive. Like kind of wasting time. Most of the time, yeah. But I just saw the guy just claiming that, Bitcoin SB got the 6 block reorg, right? Like weeks ago or so, right? But like he's claiming that they lost the customers' record, they lost the transactions. It's just like. This guy's knowingly, I think, propagating the fake information, or it's like it just lie, right? It's simply lie, or just like information which trying to manipulate, like not totally correct information, but basically his goal is trying to pursue people who don't know much about Bitcoin and just give impression, Bitcoin SB is something dangerous, right? My fund, if I have money on the Bitcoin SB, that could be dangerous or something, like just that's he wanted to do. So I ending up that discussing with him. Of course he doesn't agree with me, all right? Of course, like any discussion on internet, you end up just keep arguing it. So I'm fine with that, and I just feel like I waste all day talking with this guy, but I think sometimes you need to fight with these people to just prove that these people are wrong. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, and it's not productive. But we kind of need to tell other people. There's a lot of people just lie things, right? With like, and their evidence are not really correct, or just like fake, right? It's just so like I just one by one just telling him he is not talking correctly, right? Or like the fact is not correct, right? Transaction was never lost. It's on the mempool, and when reorg, the coin starts splitting, right? And end up just in one chain, right? Because the longest chain is usually the valid. And when you trying to propagate it like very large block, it takes time. So it's often like somebody find out blocks same time and trying to propagate that block as soon as possible. And end up like we have 2 chains, right? So that was during the stress test, organic stress test from I think China. They made like trying to make 128 megabyte blocks, not just one but many, right? But like which we know already, the mainnet cannot take it yet. It will actually, after July's, that could be possible in the testnet right now. I think they need a parallel verification to the I think mempool, and if you put that, you can do it. But it's not, it's not possible in the mainnet already right now. So we knew that, but we try it, as much as possible, I guess. And then, of course, it couldn't make, like a constant 128 mega blocks, and then that's fine. We know that, but it's also. But my point is, no transaction was lost, right? Like nobody lost money. I think that's very important things to tell people, because some people don't know about reorg, right? And then some people just try to use that. Some people don't know things and just trying to make advantage. But anyway, but I think the argument is okay. BSB lost transaction, so I say no, we don't. All the money is safe. And he say okay, they're risking people's money. No, I don't. I say no. Like stress test is important, because if you don't, I think I gotta talk about this a little more. But stress test is very important because we need to push the network to do better job, right? Like who lost the money this time? Actually, that's a miner, right? Reorg, like 2 chains and one, and the one side of miner mined 6 blocks, and they lost it, right? So they lost that much money, the miner reward. Of course, you don't get it until 100 100 blocks, confirmation. So they never had the money, of course. But so the miner lost the money. So what they think, right? They think, oh, we could get money, right? If we do better for managing the block size, we didn't lose money, right? But at least they tried to mine big blocks, and that's important. Maybe they should set their program for not mined consecutive, like continuous 128 mega block right now, right? I mean, because we know that cannot be possible, but they learned it, right? So maybe next time they don't do it, right? We know we can do 128 mega block, 128 mega blocks, right? We can do that. We know that. There's a spike, right? And then we can make one big block like that, but we cannot do constant block size with 128 mega yet, right? That will be available, and I think dry after next hard fork, when the parallel verification will be available to the mainnet. But why we think stress testing? I think stress test is important because it's in a way like Bitcoin network is living organism, right? And it doesn't react. I mean, it reacts to the stress, right? Like miner lost money, and they're gonna do better job next time because they don't want to lose money, right? That's good incentive. And until they, in a way, like lost money, it's very difficult for them to understand that. And that for scaling too, it's important to push it until till the limit, because otherwise we don't know what kind of problem we have, right? It's like when I start putting large video on the to the MetaNet, we didn't really realize, most of people didn't realize that we can like send money like 20 times from same UTXO. I think it's mean like same address, I think. So if you trying to upload like more than 2 megabytes of OP return, you can't. You have to wait 10 minutes, and that was in the software, right? And of course the developer knew it, but most of people don't do it, right? Because Bitcoin core is really expensive, right? So nobody really sends so much money in one time. Or Bitcoin Cash, like you send one and you don't buy so many things usually, so people don't complain because they don't have that use case usually. So like somehow we have to unfuck that part, right? It's like Lion trying to come up idea to spread the UTXO to like really large number. Like last time I did like 2,000, right? So that's why I could upload 160 megabytes of data. So that solutions came out because we pushed it to the limit, right? It's like you work out, like muscle training, same thing. You have to push, muscle, if you ability of muscle, like if you so if you push it so much, right, say, I don't know if you can see well, but let's see, the ability, your the muscle, if you like weight training, right, say if you do 10 kilo, you do lifting like 10 times of the like weight, right? First time, that's like maximum you can do. And immediately after the training, you are really tired, you cannot lift it anymore, right? Because you did 10 times, that's like your maximum, right? But then something happens is after that, right? Your muscle get stronger, right? You have to take a break, but next day or something, if all the your tiredness go away, then you can do more than 10 times next time, because that's how stress works, right? You give stress to the muscle and muscle react. So that's why that's the way we grew up. So so it's important to give stress to to the network, and it's important we push hard. That kind of helps to grow the network, and we're gonna figure out the problems. I think that's important. I mean, yeah, we don't want to destroy it, of course, the network, but we want to know what we can do, like what is our limits. Like, I think there's some part I'm saying is right now is the I think full node. Somehow we need to get better service, right? Maybe better hardware, I don't know, or maybe software. But see, the mining node seems like not shut it down usually during the even stress test, right? Even heavy one. I guess because they have stronger hardware, I think. But like many of like many of the like explorers and some unlighted tools like Planaria, I think, was shut down during its stealth test. So I think next things we have to somehow figure out is how to make full node resilience, right? Or maybe like we will know the cost, or like we're gonna figure out better hardware for having full node. And I think full node in a way it's gonna be like a commercial node, I guess. That should be the word, right? They don't do mining, but they provide service, like when when somebody trying to play my video on Metanet, this node going to play that video, right? So they have to do some job, and then it's going to be some cost for that, I guess, and somebody need to pay for that. But I think we're going to figure it out. But I think that part have to be much stronger, and probably can solve to that with having better node. I think hardware is one, I think, but I think the software part also important. So until you stressed that network, you don't know it, right? I mean, so you can't just scale with in just like one day. It's just like it's not just one thing, right? It's not just like miners, right? It's not just miners. It's not just for commercial nodes, right? It's not just software. It's not just hardware. It's a combine everything, right? We have to have, in order to scale, we have to have fastest computers in the world in a way, right? That point, I mean, I guess it doesn't need to be fastest, but like a rest, like a newest computers, right? And we have like really fast broadband connections, right? Oops. Alright, I have to take this. Alright, but anyhow, so it's important to push it hard, and we do this in now, like it's winter time, nobody around, and it's important time, it's great time to test things out, right? It's important to prepare this spring, like millions and millions of people start using this Metanet, and we have to know that that's possible, right? We prepared enough. That's important. So just ignore the I guess noise. Sometimes we might need to fight and make sure some people get signals, enough people get signals, I think. You cannot convince everybody because somebody has very bad intention to spread lies and fake information. It's very unfortunate, but but we probably good to just focus sending good signal to people, not arguing people on the Twitter like me. But anyhow, so talk to you later. Bye bye.